Onegaishimasu. Okay, let's do a brief warm-up. So first, you want to be conscious of connecting with the ground and then opening up your body structure. So most people are very uptight. So we want to dissolve that tension, dissolve into the ground, and then fix the posture and alignment from the ground up. We open, entering the ground, and then aligning and opening our skeletal structure. And to start the arm swings, I'm going to push into the ground with your leg. So knees are bent. Push into the ground, descend the weight, and turn the hip. Push into the ground. So not using your upper body, not being tight about it, simply relax into the ground. Relax into the ground. And that'll do the work for you. And then we're training our upper body to be soft, relaxed, and open. So releasing those shoulders. So this is definitely not an arm exercise. We want to be as soft and relaxed as possible, but not condensed or collapsed. So nice and open, using the ground for our movement, our power, and our stability. And then we can afford to let the body be soft and open. So it's worth taking particular care when we're on one side. There might be some leaning. So we want to have this vertical alignment. So we're sinking into the hip, rather than leaning, rather than throwing our mass over here, throwing our upper body, just shifting the weight, turning the hip. So we stay integrated and vertical. And let those arms be flung out. Now, if you're feeling like you're getting warmed up and you're comfortable with this move, you can make it more intense, more vibrant, not by trying harder or flexing or exerting, but by releasing into the ground more, pressing the leg and foot into the ground more, and that provides the body with more energy and momentum and flings those arms out even higher, but not because you're using your arms more or upper body more, but because you're simply relaxing in the ground more sharply. Pressing into the ground with that foot. Just doing that with more intention. And that will move the body more vibrantly for you. Nice, good breathing into the abdomen. And gently winding down. And then we'll take a forward stance and do the same thing, arm swing forward and back. So this is similar to Minucci, except we're not going to pause up at the apex. And we're not making as clear and defined as a shape. It just arm swings now in the vertical axis instead of the horizontal axis. Same process is I want to have the legs and hips doing all the work, generate the movement. Generally, you want to keep that back heel flat. Otherwise, we'll tend to lean. So basic approach, feet stay flat, and that back heel, we push off the back heel, descend us forward. That back heel stays in contact with the ground. And again, not doing an arm thing, not using the deltoids. The arms are just moving because of the momentum and energy generated from the ground. So I push off the front leg to send me back. I push off the back foot to send me forward. And the body stays aligned, open, and vertical. And then how much can I release and let go, including the abdomen? So in this case, because it's not technically Minucci, I can let those arms swing all the way back as far forward as they go. Because this is a relaxation, releasing movement. And letting gravity and momentum, those natural forces, move the body for you. What's really helpful is to drop that tailbone on the way back. If you experiment with that, as you press down the front leg to send you back, drop your tailbone. That re-engages you into the ground, and so the ground can push you back even more. So if you look from the side, you'll see I'm kind of dropping down with my hip, my tailbone, so it's back and down, and then I've got that spring loaded. The spring is loaded, so when I press off the ground, I've got more potential energy that's stored because I've dropped down. Pressing the ground propels me forward. And then switching feet. Hang from the string, enter the ground, push from the ground. Breathe, nice deep breath in the abdomen. And just let those arms go. Your arms are the feedback mechanism to see how well, how efficiently you're organizing your body and your movement and your connection from the ground. So if you get a nice big movement back with your arms and forward and up with your arms, but you're not doing it with your arms, you're getting some good feedback in your alignment and your use of the ground. Breathing into the abdomen. Good. Bring the feet back, shoulder width parallel. Come to your center. Breathe in, the belly expands. Breathe out, the belly empties. Releasing tension on each exhale. Releasing the weight through your legs and feet. Breathing in. Breathing out for 3 drops. You breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Rock right down to the heels, unifying your body. Okay, let's go into some basic movement. Okay, so Hami no Kamai, let's have the left leg forward. So that's basic ready stance. Covering your center line, but not one on top of the other. So basically your fingertips are triangle pointing to the center line. Elbows are rotated forward, so you're not having straight arms. You're rolling elbows down and forward. That seats the shoulders and gives you some good points, good lines of protection. So elbows roll down and forward. That points the sword tips up. So if you take left hanmi, no kamai. Let's just do some basic switching hanmi, some basic movement. Back foot comes up, front foot goes back. Back foot up, front foot back. And of course, that switches your hands for you. You want to work on not bobbing up, dropping down. So not bobbing up and down, because then you're exposed at that moment when you're up. So basically, you just keep your knees bent, as they should always be. You stay at that same level, just rotating around your central axis, turning your hips. That switches your feet. That switches your arms. Again, knees bent the whole time. We're maintaining a forward stance. Elbows are bent. Okay. Then now we'll do a tenkai, which is a pivot. So front foot, turn on the heel. You turn on the other heel. Turn on the heel. Turn on the other heel. So you shift the weight forward each time you turn to maintain a forward stance. Turning switches the arms. Turn, turn on the heel. Shift back, turn on the heel, turn on the heel. Shift back, turn on the heel, turn on the heel, shift forward. Maintaining a clear structure and extension. Unified body movement. Okay. Now, Tenkan. I face the same way as you. We just did Tenkai, which is a pivot. Tenkan is actually a turn. So the back foot swings behind. Everybody's been exposed to that little bit at the beginning where it's good to do a slight turn on the ball of the front foot. Slight turn on the ball of the front foot so that you're not twisting the knee or ankle. So before you throw that back leg behind you, you do a little turn on the ball of the foot. So that leg that you're standing on is bearing the weight. It's turning before you make that big turn. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, feel free to unmute yourselves or jump in and ask a question or comment at any time. If you start with the left leg forward, again, we'll do some Tenkan. Let's try a couple without the arms, not worrying about the arms at all. Front foot, left foot, turns on the ball, throw the right leg behind you. Keeping your left leg bent, the weight in that left leg, forward leg. So we maintain a slight forward stance, about 60% forward. So we turn on the left foot, throw around the back foot, the right foot. Turn on the left foot on the ball, throw your right foot behind you. Maintaining nice verticality, again, slightly forward. Try a couple of those. Good. Now let's switch to the right side. Slightly forward into the right leg. You turn slightly on the ball of the right foot, throwing your left leg behind you. Turn slightly on the ball of the right foot, throw your left leg behind you. Maintaining your weight on that right leg, forward leg, because we're choosing to keep a forward stance. Now check your verticality. Stay nice and upright. Okay, now let's go back to the left leg. Now we just maintain our structure, our extension, elbows rolling forward. Okay, so we'll do this with a count. Each, ni, san, chi, o, roke. Okay, switch to the other hanmi, right side forward. Each, ni, san, chi, o, roke. Okay. Hidari hanmi, left leg forward. Basic footwork, irimi sugieshi. Irimi sugieshi, front foot comes offline. Slight turn, 45 degrees. So just review that briefly. If you want to do that, just the footwork. Front foot comes offline, slight turn, 45 degrees. Keep the weight in the forward leg, it's forward stance. Offline, turn. So right now we're not rocking back at all. We're choosing to maintain a forward stance. Okay, now just keeping proper structure. Offline, slight turn. Front knee stays bent. Each. Now hold this for 2 seconds to check. Maybe you've slid back with your weight. Bring the knee back forward. Maybe you're leaning, bring the hips under the head. Maybe you've collapsed your structure, your extension. Get that back out there. So those 2 seconds designed so that we can self-assess and correct. Reach, check out, breathe. Knee. On. Check out your posture. Feet. Oh. Okay, switching stance, Migi Hanmi, right side forward. You can try a couple just with the footwork. Front foot comes offline, slight turn. Right foot comes offline, maintaining a forward stance. Okay, structure, here we go. Each. Knee. On. Eat. Go. Roke. Okay. Next basic footwork. We just did Irimi Sugiashi. Front foot moves offline. Irimi Ayumiashi is the back foot moving offline and up. And turn. So Sugiashi, Irimi Sugiashi, Sugiashi, front foot. Ayumiashi, back foot. Okay, so if we have Migi Hanmi, right leg forward, forward stance. Let's just do the footwork a couple times. Back foot comes up, offline, slight turn, 45 degrees. Back foot offline, slight turn, maintaining a forward stance. So here at the beginning, the weight is slightly into the right leg. Here at the end, slightly into the left leg. Of course, when we step, that changes the hands for us. Let's do that together. Each, self-correct, and back. Knee, and back. Now, especially more experienced people, you just simply rotate around your vertical axis. It's a very, very fine filament. You just rotate around that, just like a revolving door. And if you imagine going into a revolving door, how easy it is to kind of get sucked up in that and for it to take you, especially if that was to continue increasing its speed slightly more and more and more, you'd be forever trapped in that little cyclone. So it's turning around a very sharp vertical axis, just like a revolving door. And again, with some integrity and unity, it becomes a very powerful movement. So simply turning your hips, rotating your hips around that vertical axis, that doesn't move for you. So your intention leads that. Your intention directs that. Each. Knee. On. Knee. Make sure your knees stay bent. Okay, other side. Left leg forward. You can explore the footwork a couple times if you like. Right leg, back leg comes up. Left leg comes back. Back foot comes up, offline, slight turn, maintaining a forward stance, not leaning. Okay, now the full structure and movement. Each. Knee. On. So again, we'll touch upon that once more, especially for more experienced people. The refinement of this is, don't think of moving here and moving back here. In the beginning, that's okay. That's very blocky. And of course, in the beginning, everything needs to be blocky and stochastic. But compared to what we want eventually, it's very blocky and very big. It's very gross. So now, for the more experienced people, I don't want you to think that you're coming here and then coming over here. I simply want you to rotate around that fine vertical axis. You just spin around it. And with that fineness of movement, it'll happen simply with your strong intention and you're whipped around. So I just rotate around my vertical axis, and this hand come here becomes a block or a strike, not because I'm winding up and trying to strike or hit or block. It's just a function of the movement of my structure. Just the movement of my structure keeps me very solid in terms of protection or very effective in terms of a strike. I'm not trying to deliver something. I'm simply refining my movement, rotating around my axis. So that's something finer or further for more experienced people to work on. But don't try to go over there and turn. You're just going to rotate around your axis, spin around it. Each. Yeet. On. Release the abdomen, the hara. Yeet. Keep your weight sinking. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Now we're going to do the next program, put some of that footwork together. It'll be Irimi Ayumiyashi Tenkai. So this is the next program that some of you are working on. Okay, so we take Migi Hanmi, right leg forward. Let's really do this slowly and study it for a moment. Let's just do the footwork. Irimi Ayumiyashi, so back foot comes off. And then Tenkai, pivot. So lots of action there, lots of things to watch for and to work on. Forward stance into the left leg, forward stance into the right leg. Let's do that one more time for clarity. Forward stance, so weight is slightly into the right leg. Ayumiyashi, back foot comes up. Forward stance into the left leg, turn on the left heel, turn on the right heel, your weight's now on the right leg. Forward stance, right leg, offline, weight's in the left leg, turn on the left heel, turn on the right heel, weight is slightly moved to the right leg. So we're working on keeping a forward stance for basic work. Let's do that slowly with the hands mindfully covering center line, issuing out from the center line. So Irimi Ayumiyashi, turn on the left heel, turn on the right heel. The weight should be slightly forward, but your back heel should not be off, because then you're off. Okay, so back foot comes up, turn slightly, turn on the left heel, turn on the left heel, on the right heel. See how coordinated or unified, how unified you can be with those arms switching simply because of the turning of your body. Okay, so right leg forward, back foot comes up, turn, pivot. Irimi Ayumiyashi, Tenkai. Weight slightly forward. Again, pause here at the end, check yourself out, self-correct. Irimi Ayumiyashi, Tenkai. Okay, so we'll count that as 1, 2, each knee. So each knee, pause, self-correct. Each knee. Each knee. So now we'll do the whole movement on 1 count. Each. Knee. On. Forward stance. Okay. Other side. Hidari. Left side forward. Let's work the footwork. Back foot comes up. Slight turn. Turn on the right heel. Turn on the left heel. Forward stance. Once more. Left side forward. Step up. Turn. Pivot. Covering center line. Step up. Step back. Turn on the right heel. Turn on the left heel. Everything's together. It's not stiff. It's just you're flowing out with your intention. That's sending your extension out. And everything is connected and unified. Offline, turn, pivot. Back foot comes up, step back, turn on your right heel, turn on your left heel, forward stance. Okay, 1-2 count. Each, knee. Each, knee. Turn around your very sharp vertical axis. Each, knee. Okay, now the whole move on 1 count. Each, forward stance. Knee. Down. Chi. Oh. Rope. Chi. Okay. So the other variation on that is Irabi Amiushi. Irabi Amiyashi. Instead of Tenkai, it's Tenkan. So back to that back leg. Swung around. Remember to turn on that front foot first for that big turn. Okay? So back to right side forward. Let's break this down. Irimi Aimiyashi. Weights in the left leg. Turn slightly on the ball of your left foot. Throw your right leg behind you so that you're facing 180 degrees in the other direction. Okay, once more, just with the footwork. Right leg forward. Offline, turn. Turn on the ball of the left foot and throw the right leg behind you, facing the opposite corner. Okay, so with extension, right leg forward, Irimi Aimiyashi, Tenkan. Pause here, check things out, breathe. Right leg forward, Irimi Aimiyashi, Tenkan. Right leg forward, Irimi Aimiyashi, Tenkan. Maintaining your structure, your extension, breathing. Let's do that on 2 counts. Each, knee. Right side forward, each, knee. It's important to break it down. That's why we do 2 counts before we do the full 1 count, so that you have control at the end of each move. So again, each, knee. Okay, now if you follow the count, I'll take a look. Each, knee. Ready? Each, knee. That's it. 1 more. Each, knee. Yeah, excellent. Okay, other side. Hidari, left side. Let's break it down, just the footwork. Irimi Aimiyashi. Forward stance into the right leg. Turn onto the ball of the right leg. Throw the left leg behind you. Keep your weight in your right leg, knee bent. Again. Left leg forward. Irimi Amiyashi. Turn on the ball of the right foot. Swing left foot behind you, keeping the weight forward in the right leg. Turning 180 degrees. Let's do that with a 2 count. Each. Knee. Left side forward. Each. Knee. A full 180 degree turn, so you should be facing the opposite corner or the opposite wall. Left leg forward. Each. Knee. Once more. Each. Knee. Okay, let's go back to the right side. We'll do a couple on 2 counts, and then on just 1 count, the whole move done smoothly and fluidly. So right side forward. Each. Knee. Check your finish. Each. Knee. Okay, now we'll do the whole move on 1 count. If I demonstrate 1. So you can have slightly less of a pause between those 2 movements if you like. Okay, that whole movement on 1 count. Each. Forward stance. Right leg forward. Each. Knee. Slightly forward weight in the left leg. 1 more. San. Okay. Hidari, left side forward. Do a couple broken into 2 steps. Each. Knee. Forward stance in the right leg. Each. Knee. Okay, everything in 1 movement, 1 smooth move. Each. Knee. San. Okay, try a couple on your own on either side. There's 2 or 3 on your own. Let's see how that goes. Okay. We'll go into another movement. This will be new for some of you. Sayu Endo looks like this. Okay, let's do this together, just the body movement. We're back down to this idea of using the ground and the legs, not the upper body. So a horse stance. So wider than shoulder width, toes out to the corners, knees out to the corners. We shift the weight, and we start with 2 beats. 1, 2. So shift the weight to the left, sink into your left hip, sink into your left hip. Shift the weight to the right, sink into your right hip, sink into your right hip. Shift the weight, 1, 2. Shift the weight, 1, 2. So you shift the weight, sink, sink, shift the weight, sink, sink. So shift the weight, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Make sure you don't get light with the other foot. Shift the weight, 1, 2. Now, the arm position, this is out, elbow slightly bent. Never want the joints locked. Elbow pointing towards the ground, but not bent, just unlocked. Other arms, cross your body. Both hands palm up. Other side. Slightly bent elbow, pointing towards the ground, both palms up. So not this, out here. That's too low. Shoulder height. All the way out and across. All the way out and across. All the way out. It's just like Minucci, where it's all extended, but the elbows are unlocked, except we're palm up. Okay. So, shift the weight, 1, 2. Shift the weight, 2 beats. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Try a few more on your own. Keep the shoulders down. The shoulders are going to tend to come up for sure. Sink the shoulders down. You're just moving your legs and your hips. Arms aren't doing anything except staying nicely extended. And they're extended because you're flowing out with your feeling in your mind. You're not throwing your arms out there. This expresses your big sphere, your large sphere of attention. Okay. Now we add movement to that. It looks like this. It's a slide step. So let's do that just with the footwork. Not worry about the arms for a moment. So we slide step in, out, shift, shift. Slide in, slide out, shift, shift. Again, we're back to the idea that we do not want to bob up and down. Keep our balance low, our weight low. So we keep our leg at the same bend the whole time. Watch that you're not bobbing up and down. So a bit more, slide in, slide out, shift, shift, slide in, slide out, shift the weight, turn, turn. Slide in, slide out, 2. And the arms simply do what the hips are doing. So if we do that, so 1, 2, slide in, slide out, 1, 2, slide in, slide out, each knee, each knee, each knee. Try a few. Yes. Each knee, san, shi. Each knee, san, shi. Okay, let's do a little wind down. Gathered at your center, aligning with gravity, letting gravity work through your structure down into the ground, staying nice and open. Breathing in, expanding out. Breathing out, coming back, settling, consolidating to your center. Breathing in, expand.